Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast. So welcome to the show, Lucas. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing good.
I'm so happy to chat with you today. You are a local Parisian musician. You know, I don't get too many locals on the show. Born and raised in Paris, or where in France are you from?
Well, not exactly. I was born in Lyon, but never lived there. I always lived basically in the neighborhood.
Nice. And you started playing music at the age of 6. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I started when I was 6. My parents signed me up for a piano lesson with a friend of my dad who was teaching piano, and I did that for a year. And then I quit. Can't really remember why. I think I was not really into it. But a few years later, my neighbor, my downstairs neighbor was playing double bass. So I wanted to play double bass.
After hearing it all day long.
Yeah. So I did double bass lessons for 3 years, but one day my teacher didn't show up and disappeared. So I stopped playing double bass after that.
Oh, wow, they just disappeared.
Yeah. That was the
typical musicians, huh? They just disappeared on you.
And then when I was, probably 14, I started playing guitar. I had a friend when I was in middle school, and we were really into music together. We were really into Michael Jackson and the Beatles. And my dad was playing a little bit of guitar, so we had a guitar at home, and I started playing the guitar like this.
Nice. And you also studied at the Music Conservatory School in Versailles. What was that like? Do you feel like you learned a lot during that time? Was it very intense or?
Well, I did 2 music schools actually. The first one just after I was graduated from high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was called the SIM. It was in the 18th actually in Paris.
Nice.
And I did that for 2 years and a half. And it's probably where I learned the most because I was just after high school, and I was basically a beginner in playing music and guitar. So I learned a lot. I had zero theory. I was not really playing with anybody except my teacher. So, and it was pretty intense. It was like 20, 25 hours every week.
Wow.
Of various lessons, instruments, harmony, theory, playing bands and stuff like that. And after that, I went to the conservatory, and that was not, for me, not the best experience because it was a bit weird. I went to Versailles because I was not. I tried to be at the Conservatory of Paris, but they didn't take me, so I went to Versailles, and it was a bit weird over there because you got the people from Versailles who's been in this conservatory for years, and then the people from Paris just coming for a day every week because all the class was in the same years on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a bit strange, and probably I was not like super happy about my life or whatever. So not the best years for me, but I learned some stuff, and I had a degree that doesn't help for anything in music, but I was able to teach a bit with that, and that was my first introduction into the business of being a musician.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. Like, you're a full-time musician now. How long
Yeah.
did it take you to get to that point in your life?
So after I was graduated from the conservatory, I was not really doing anything, not really playing, and I was actually thinking about quitting music. But then I ran into an old friend of mine from the scene, and he told me he was working in a school in Paris, and they were looking for a guitar teacher. So I had an audition, and I entered the school as a teacher, and that was my first the way I first started making money doing music. I was already like doing a few private lessons, but when I entered the school, I was doing 25 hours of teaching every week, so it was a lot.
Hmm.
But I mean, it was good. It was a very new school. That was the second year, a young team of teachers, and for me, it was really good. I learned a lot teaching, especially the first year. And I did that for 3 years. And at the end, I was able to quit because I was a bit tired at first. And also, I was starting playing more and more. And
Yeah.
it was a bit difficult because the lessons were after people working. So it was the like 6 to 10 or something. So it was difficult with gigs and everything. So
Yeah, I was blocking you from playing gigs.
yeah.
And so talk about a little bit about your music. You play country blues, ragtime,
Mhm,
jazz, rockabilly, rock and roll, rhythm and
mhm.
blues. What attracted you to that genre of music?
Um, so I first started playing guitar, learning about like rock, the Beatles, Dire Straits, Creedence Clearwater Revival. That was my first influences. And then pretty quickly I was attracted to the blues. So first it was the like rock blues guitar players like Stevie Ray Vaughan or Eric Clapton or those guys. But I was pretty fast. I was attracted by the old country blues, like the acoustic finger picking, guys like Robert Johnson, Blind Lemon Jefferson, Big Bill Brunsey, and but it was like out of reach for me at that point. But in my head, I was like, maybe someday I will learn about those stuff. And when I went to the music school and conservatory, I was more into bebop. Wes Montgomery was my guitar hero, so I learned about jazz and bebop. But then after being graduated, as I said, I was thinking about quitting music, and I was not playing acoustic guitar or singing back then. But I was like, okay, I spent so many time like learning guitar, I can't just stop playing. So I thought maybe I could play acoustic guitar and sing just for me, playing at with friends or whatever. So I started doing this and learning about fingerstyle technique, and I kind of find my way doing that. So that was my introduction to like 1930s music. And then I traveled to the US and met some guys over there, and they introduced me to like ragtime and old jazz, hot jazz, and stuff like that. And back when I went back to Paris, I started like developing this music as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's so different from anything you really hear around Paris. I know jazz is popular here. Talk a little bit about hot jazz. What is that?
Well, hot jazz is basically like I would say jazz before the swing. So the swing starts in the 30s, and before that you got like New Orleans and Chicago style, and it's kind of the classical traditional jazz or hot jazz. It's kind of the same. So think about like Louis Armstrong, King Oliver, Jelly Roll Morton, all those guys.
Very cool. And you also played in a duet with an Australian violin player. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So that was my first like real band because I first started when I first started playing around Paris. I was doing a solo, and then at some point I met Heather Stewart. Um, it's kind of a funny story. Her husband is a musician, and he knew some musician from the US I was playing with. So through Facebook, we kind of connected because they were already working and living in Paris for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And so Heather came to one of my gig, and we had a little jam session, and we realized we liked the same kind of music, like country blues and ragtime and stuff like that. So we started playing together and starting building a repertoire, a sound, and everything. And yes, that was great to meet her because there's not many people playing this kind of music in Paris,
Yeah. It's very
and she's really good at it.
yeah. And you guys toured around Australia and the US?
Yeah, we went to Australia, I think in 2017 or 18.
Wow.
We had a month tour during a month, and then I think 6 months after that, that was December 2018, we went to Chicago because I had a connection with Chicago. I already started to go to Chicago every year and started playing there. So I booked this little tour and we recorded our first album in Chicago. And I also recorded another album with a Chicago band.
And what was that like being on tour, like as the first time as a band? Did you love it? Was it interesting?
Yeah, it was pretty great. I mean, Australia was my first like big tour, and yeah, a month in Australia playing music basically every night. That was amazing, and also that was pretty easy because Heather is from Australia, so she knew a lot of people and she knew most of the gigs that we played. So and she also organized everything, so it was pretty easy for me. I just had to play music and be around cool people. So
Yeah, it sounds like a dream come true coming from
yeah.
France, especially where that music isn't as played here. And are there certain venues that you play here that like that type of music?
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of country blues, that's for sure, but there's a lot of like swing and like old jazz is very popular in Paris. There's a lot of swing dancers and everything. So, but Heather and I started a regular gig every Sunday at a little bar called Chez, which is in Montmartre,
Oh,
right next to the Picasso and Braque workshop.
yeah, you're right next to my house. I live right up the street.
Yeah,
I always see a
yeah,
million people outside of Chez. I'm like, what's going on
yeah.
in there?
So,
So every Sunday you play still.
well, not anymore. We started it. They had the music before us, but we started the regular Sunday meeting
Yeah.
session, and we played that session with Heather for I think 3 years. And then after the pandemic, the gig started back. But I'm basically doing it every month, once a month with different people, and there is other musician, mostly friends of mine that are also playing.
Very cool.
And this bar, I don't know if you've been there, but it's really like it's covered with a picture of bluesman and rock and roll player and stuff like that. It's a really great vibe, and they're really into like old American music, Americana. So you can find some swing, you can find blues, you can have like bluegrass or country. So it's
Oh,
kind
that's
of the
cool.
perfect place for me.
I didn't know they played music there because I just knew it was a popular drinking place, but I didn't know there was music. Now I'm gonna have to stop in.
Yeah, right.
It's quite small. It's like this
Yeah, it's very small.
It's like, where do they fit a band in there?
We find a way.
Yeah.
So that's one of the places. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about what attracted you to country music. What do you love about it? Why did you choose that genre?
That's a good question. I remember when I was like a child, I had a babysitter that was copying like CDs for me, and she gave me the CD of the soundtrack of Oh Brothers, the movie by the Coen brothers.
Hmm.
And I mean, I still have this CD. It has a really big impact on me. It was my first introduction to country music and old blues and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just loved it.
Just felt attracted to it. Yeah, and it is a
Yeah.
great soundtrack. I remember listening to that too after the movie came out. It was really some great songs on there.
Uh-huh. And also, when I was about 14, I watched this movie called A Soul of a Man. It's a
Hmm.
movie by Wim Wenders, and it's part of a collection of movies produced by Martin Scorsese about the blues.
Oh.
Actually, it's called The Blues. And this first movie is about three blues guys: Blind Willie Johnson, J.B. Lenore, and Skip James.
Hmm.
And also, I was like, that was my first introduction to like country blues. And I remember after that going to my guitar teacher, and I was like, yeah, I've heard that.
You've traveled around France and America and Australia. Talk about some of the differences between the music scene in France versus the United States, for example.
Um, well, I don't know if it's very different. I mean, I can say that I know everything about the American jazz scene, but I think it's pretty close. You know, it's the old like old jazz and stuff like that. It's a pretty small community, and everybody kind of know everybody. I think Facebook was kind of important because it connected all the musicians that were in the style, and since it's not a lot of musicians, we all pay attention to what everybody is doing. So I would say pretty similar.
Yeah. And you know of each other, a lot of you. Like you said, it's pretty small.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And
And
it's a very welcoming community. You know, I started going to the US, I met some guys, and then those people were like, "Oh, are we traveling to Europe?" I was like, "Okay, come to Paris. I can try to organize some gigs and have you at my place." And so I started bringing musicians from Chicago and New York, and then I went back to the US and play over there, and they did the same for me. So it's pretty cool.
yeah, it's so cool how you can collaborate like that and people want to work together.
Yeah, and especially it works very well with this music because it's kind of the spirit. You know, we got the standards, which is kind of a common repertoire. So it's easy to play with people you never met.
Hmm. Yeah, because it's always kind of the same in a lot of ways.
Well, because we know the same tunes,
Yeah.
and we train to to jam. So it's possible to. I mean, I play every time with people I never met before. You know, some maybe doesn't. We don't even talk the same language, but we can play music together.
That's so cool. So you could say music brings you together in ways you couldn't even, do otherwise when you don't speak the same language.
Yeah, it's a different way of communicating, but definitely brings people together.
And talk about your process for writing your own music.
Well, I don't really have a process because I don't really write my own music. I wrote a few, but my process is that it's very difficult for me. I think it's something you have to do like on a regular basis, so it
Yeah.
becomes a routine, you know. So I wrote original arrangements and stuff like that, but I only have like a few original tunes.
Yeah. Yeah. You like playing the covers, you like playing the old style things and just
Hmm.
jamming with other musicians.
Yeah, and you know, like reinterpreting the standard is a big part of this music
Hmm.
because that's the cool thing about this music is that you have like a melody and then a million ways to play it and
Yeah.
improvisation and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. So you can kind of play with it anyway and recreate it on the fly.
Hmm.
And how do you define folk music, like in your own words?
that's a difficult question because folk music is kind of a term where you can put a lot of different kind of music. But you have like the folk music, I would say, like guys like Lead Billy or Big Bill Bronzy, those kind of guys. Like we were like picking up some music that was already existing, but recording it and maybe add some lyrics and stuff like that. So that's like the folk American folk music, and then you have the folk music like Bob Dylan and like the '60s, and it's some of the tunes are similar, some are new, or
So it's been reinvented many times.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
kind of like even today when you're just jamming and, creating on the fly as well.
I mean, I don't really consider myself as a folk musician. I'm more like a jazz musician or blues musician, but yeah, I'm sure people do that in the folk scene.
And talk about the importance of music in today's world.
Oh yeah, well, it's I don't know if I see, my experience to music is very similar to what a lot of people experience nowadays, but for me, like the music I play is kind of a niche. So we play mostly like small venues or clubs or stuff like that, and I really love it because we're really close to the people. We got regular people coming, and it's creating community with musicians, with music lovers, with dancers, and I think it's just a good reason to meet, like for real, not being behind computers and like listening to music on Spotify or whatever. So I would say the most important mission of music nowadays is just bring people together IRL in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because everyone's on their screens all the time now.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you would change about the music industry today?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are not really good in music. I mean, the fact that people don't buy CDs anymore and everything is streaming. I mean, it's a good way. I mean, I stream music as well, and I'm really happy that basically all the music that's been recorded is now available on YouTube. And that's pretty awesome. And I think it's part of the revival that we have today of this music. It's because everybody have access to music that was accessible to very little amount of people at some point, like people collecting 78s and stuff like that. So that's good, but for a musician, it's pretty hard because you don't make any money with streaming, and we still make CDs, but it's basically it's hard to sell CDs. So it's more like for you. It's good to make to record CDs, but you don't make money. You really make money like making CDs.
Yeah, it's more about performing now. That's the way to make money, is you have to play in venues. Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, it's not. You don't make really good money, but it's the way it works.
Yeah, I've heard even, like the big musicians complain about that, about Spotify and everything, because you don't have the passive income anymore, right?
Yeah.
You don't get it from being there in person.
Yeah,
You have to work all the time to make money.
Yeah.
And how would you define creativity in your own words?
That's a tricky question. Should have texted me this one. I don't know. What can I say about that? Well, so in my experience, being creative, like you asked me about original music, for example, And it's a question that a lot of people ask because mostly for people, like being a musician is writing new music, which is actually pretty recent, because when you have a look of the music before the Beatles kind of make this a standard, like playing your own original music. Before that, when you look at the music, you had like professional composer writing music, and then musicians playing their music.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of this tradition of playing other people's music, but I think you can still be creative and original playing like music that's been played a million times, like tunes that been recorded a million times, but it's creative to find a new way to play it.
Yeah.
And even if we're playing like old music, I'm really into like bands that nowadays plays this music, because there's still a fresh way to play old music. You can play it in a different way, and that's what I like about people that play this music nowadays, because we don't play this music the same way that people were playing it in the 50s or in the 60s or the 70s. So there's always a new way to refresh the music, and playing the tradition doesn't mean you have to be like traditionalists, like playing exactly the same.
Yeah, you can always kind of work off of what other people's work and evolve and create something new.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. That's I think for me it's the mission.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's also a way to so that this music can be alive, because if you just play it the same way it's been played for 100 years, it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. And what's the best advice you've ever been given before?
I think get out there, just go play with people, meet people, go listen to music, and just make things happen.
Yeah, you just have to do it.
Yeah, which is I think the most difficult part of being a musician, and especially it's very difficult when you're learning about music, for example, and you're at school and you're in this little cocoon, and then the school is over and you're like, oh, okay, what am I doing now? It's the real world. So I mean, for me it was a pretty hard transition, but I had to kick myself in the butt, but you get used to it, and again it's kind of a routine, and but you always have to go back to that, because sometimes you're working a lot and you're like, I don't want to go out. I'm playing like five days this week.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm tired, but I think you always have to do it. It's one of the difficult part of being an artist, is that you can never say, okay, now I'm there and I'm gonna stay there. It's fine. I made it. No, it's not working like this.
You have to keep showing up.
Yeah, showing up and be interesting about what's happening, and meeting new people, and stuff like that. Because there's always a new guy coming that is gonna bring some new stuff, or
there's lots of competition, and you have to keep on your toes and keep moving.
Yeah, there's competition, but there's also, like, I think in my scene, it's a small scene, so there's a lot of we are helping each other a lot, I think. I mean, the competition exists, but mostly in a good way,
It's good collaborations.
Emulation. I don't know if you'd say that in English.
What is it?
Emulation.
You can say that, definitely. You emulate each other.
Yeah.
And what's next for you? Do you have anything coming up that you're excited about? Where can people listen to you play on a regular basis?
Yeah, so I have a new record coming soon. We are actually mixing right now. I was in the studio a couple of times this week. So that's the second CD of the Dirty Ragtimers. That was my first band with Heather, the violin player and singer. And we're now a quartet, so it's the first CD as a quartet.
Nice.
With piano and bass. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be a good record. I'm going to New York in February to hang around my musician friends and maybe play a little bit and stuff like that.
Nice.
And otherwise, I'm playing every Wednesday this little restaurant called Chez Cocotte et Bouchon.
Nice.
It's in the 18th as well. I started this gig 3 years ago. That's the third season, and it's really good. It's just a good way for me to invite different musicians every week and play different repertoires and stuff like that. So,
oh, super cool! I have to come see you play there. That's right in my
yeah.
again.
Yeah, and definitely, and the food is great and good vibes. So, Chez Cocotte, yes.
And where can people connect with you, buy your music, check out your work?
So I have a website. It's www.lucasmontagnier, LucasMontagnier.com. lucasmontagnier.com. So I have my gig schedule on the website. You can buy CDs, or you have a link to Bandcamp where you can buy the music digitally. And I have videos and stuff like that about my different bands.
Perfect. Well, I'll share all of that in the show notes so people can click and check it out and support your work. And
yes, please.
Thanks so much for coming on today.
Sure, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.